What I see with those that are formerly incarcerated is the perception that they're a failure, that they don't matter. I'm often reminded that any one of us could be experiencing the same challenges that they experience. We're just one circumstance away from what that is. Reentry Connect is dear to my heart because I've had two brothers that were incarcerated. When I took over leadership with Reentry Connect, I had to really seek out what would it take for them to be successful back into community, asking them what would they need to not reoffend. And they started to share the lack of resource that was available to them. A lot of times they're coming back, they're released into worse situations where they lost their housing. You know, they may have a UD because during this arrest and incarceration time, they were unable to pay rent. And now they have an unlawful detainer. So it's providing resources to help them get some normalcy back into their lives.
What we do is work with men and women and allowing them to redefine the person they want to be. And regardless of what someone has labeled you, you can actually achieve whatever it is you want to achieve.
My son was born 2013 May, and I believe that it was a blessing from God, you know, that Anton was brought into my life. Before that, you know, it was just ripping and running the streets and stuff, you know, living a fast life. And after my son was born, you know, I had to make a decision, you know, what I wanted to do with my life. You know, did I want to be out on the streets, in and out of the penitentiary without my son, or did I want to raise my son?
I began working with Anton a couple of years ago. Anton was in a place where he was working on his sobriety and trying to get custody of his son. And it was difficult for him because he had a record. But he showed the court that he could maintain sobriety, obtain a place to live. He had started working. He applied for a microgrant to help him with some past fines so he can get his driver's license back. And he ended up getting full custody of his son. Anton has shown success. Now, there are ups and downs, but it's the consistency in moving forward that's important. And him understanding that he's living for not only himself, but for his now 2.5-year-old son. And that's important to him. And so he's making decisions that are in his positive best interest, knowing and understanding that he has a responsibility, you know, to be in the best place he can be for his son.
I had to make a decision, you know, what I wanted to do with my life, where I wanted to go with my life. A person have to be able to replace that negativity with something positive in order to be successful in their life. So I was willing to take that chance, and I was willing to take those steps and just start doing it, practicing in my everyday life. Reentry Connect gave me the opportunity to start the process of learning how to live life and accepting life on life's terms, as far as doing the right things in life. And I had to want this for myself, man, you know, because I can play around with anybody else in the world, you know what I'm saying? But I can't play with myself, you know. And I had to be real with myself, you know, where I wanted to go in my life, where I wanted to be. Reentry Connect is very important to the community. I mean, you gotta want this for yourself. You know, you gotta make them proper steps to connect with Reentry Connect. You know, if that's what you really wanna do, because it can set the path for you to be successful in your life.
One should care about Reentry Connect because even though you may not know a person today impacted by some form of incarceration or the criminal justice system doesn't mean that you won't tomorrow. I was that same person that said, well, it doesn't impact me. And then 20 years later, I had two brothers incarcerated and struggled trying to find their place in this world, this society. I think we just need to take a different approach. We should want to care because if we think about how much money it takes to incarcerate somebody, it's pretty significant. And as taxpayers, we're paying that bill. And I think we can minimize incarcerations by supporting programs like Reentry Connect. Dollars invested in Reentry Connect will provide continuous support around coaching and case management, and then other support services that are necessary for them to be successful back into community. I oftentimes put myself in their shoes. How would I want to be supported? How would I want to be treated? When I see them, I see my brothers. I give them every single bit of me because I don't want to see them go back into that system because we don't know what that next thing could be. You do deserve that second chance to prove not only to yourself, but to your community, your family, that you are deserving of this as well.